Right. Welcome. Hello, everyone. This is a members-only session, back testing some charts from the week and setups that we've been in. I've got 4 to go through. So, well, to start. So, anything else anyone wants to discuss, feel free. So let me just share the screen, and we'll start with where's it gone? I thought I had it open. I did have it open. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen on the 1-minute chart. And what we've got here is a buy. It's just hit quarter theory, so well done on the entry, because you've got 14 pips here, but wasn't sure what to do at the quarter theory. So we'll have a look at that. And here's the 62 EMA running up there. Here is the pitchfork. So we'll see if we can find this on the chart earlier today. So what we've got is a break and a retest of the pitchfork. Here's the 1-minute trend line coming up. Another break and a retest, and then up, and the entry was up here off this candle here. That green, we've got them as a green buy candle. Okay, so let's pull that one up. New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen here on the 1 minute. I may have to close some windows. Don't need all those open. Bit slow. Right, here's New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. And, sorry, just get this to move across. So I presume that was today.
Yeah.
So was it in London session?
Yeah, it was this morning. I think it was like maybe like 9 o'clock or something. I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, around 8:30 or 8:40.
So that's 9:30 my time. So
yeah.
I'm not sure what pitchforks I've got on. I don't think I've got. Was it a new pitchfork?
Yeah, there was a new NJ pitchfork last night.
Ah, right. So I don't think I've got that one. I've got that old one.
Was it was that the scan that was the same scan, but it just changed the like a new D point? Or is it a totally new scan?
I don't know, but I haven't got even the one where the D point changed.
Yeah, Kathy threw about 3 of them in the group this morning.
Ah, okay. That's good. I didn't get onto those. So an NJ hourly. There it is. Trader's Way. And that is 226 pips. So we've got 4th of June 1400, 8th of June at 1, 9th of June at 9, 10th of June at 8, and the D point is at 12th of June at 2. Okay. 4th at 1400, 8th at 01, 9th at 09, 10th at 08, oh, have I done that wrong? No, 12th at 02. I haven't got my magnet on. So I hope everyone's had a good trading week. I could have got more pips this morning. I was trying to swing things down. I was fine on my results. I could have had more, but things started to go back above the 62 and I got out of things. So
You usually don't trade on Friday though, do you?
no, I don't. That's very true, but I did this morning. I don't quite know why. I just did. So you want the lowest one. I think it's that one there. Let's just get this to catch up. Sorry about that. Change that to white. And I watched Chance's psychology call from Thursday that I missed. It was split into two halves on the recording for some reason. Must have timed out and started again, but I thought it was really excellent. And he spoke about being committed to it, and are you going to take a pebble to it and just keep trying, or are you really going to go, and get the skill?
Grab the brick, right? Or the
Grab the
sledgehammer.
brick. That was it. Yeah, it was really good. He's so eloquent. He really is. I don't know how he thinks everything up, but I thought it was really, really powerful, because it is really possible to learn it. And once you've learned it, then you have got that skill for life. And I think the trick is not to overtrade. You start to get a little bit tired. You see things that aren't there.
Yeah, they say in their Forex 101 call, one of the things they do is create your trading plan, right? So
yes, yeah.
So you have your daily and weekly goals. Once you hit them, boom, switch to demo or go live life.
Yeah, because I suppose it's proven by experience and their results that they know the statistics work, you know, how much on average you can trade, that it takes a very rare trader that can just keep trading, you know, like what 1 in a million. He said he's not that trader that can just keep trading through, taking loads of trades a day. You know, I really like his psychology calls. And he does it, he just talks, you know, at the camera. He's just amazing. Never repeats himself. Sorry, I've got two more to do here. One more. Just a bit slow because I'm on Zoom. I'll try and close some more windows. That's the last one.
Did you see that they were also considerate enough to post on their pip talk when the psychology call would have been, and told everybody, we're not doing it this week. We've already done it.
No, I missed that. Did you just sort of check into Pip Talk to look at scans then?
No, I have the IM Academy app on my phone, and I
Oh,
subscribe to their Pip Talk channel, and it sends alerts when there's new postings.
He's always telling us to download the app, and I haven't done that, so I must do that. Right. Okay. So that's on.
So I think the candle that I got in at was actually 9:30 my time, so it would be 10:30 your time.
Okay. Great. That's it.
That's that green one.
Why is that so big? I don't want that big. Right, there we are. That seems very big. Stop it. Is my trading view going weird?
It's just a very big scan too, right?
Well, not really. 226. That's not that big, is it? But mine's gone very big on the screen, and I can't seem to.
Click the auto button at the bottom of the price axis. It'll kind of make it fit.
Oh, does it? Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. Never knew that. Thank you very much. You're a mine of information. Thank you.
Now, every time you move the screen, it will kind of zoom it in to maximally fill it.
Oh, so right. Okay.
It gets slightly annoying after a little while for the 1 minute stuff we do. So
yeah, it does.
But when you need to fix your chart, just click the auto button and it'll usually solve most problems with scaling.
Lovely. Thank you. I never knew that. So the pitchfork is in white. Here it is at, it's this one here. Yeah. Okay, so let's get that bigger. So we have a buy scan, and we have our confirmations for entry. Very good. We have a 10 pip minimum break. These are our 3 confirmations. Quarter theory's disappeared on me now.
I also find on quarter theory, if you scroll the leading price indicator off the right side of the screen, it disappears.
Well, does it?
Yep.
Because it's just disappeared on me.
Right, but as soon as you get the leading price indicator back on the current candle, it reappears.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Is it like if you're too far back?
Your current bar on the very right, if you scroll that to the right so it goes behind the price axis, the quarter theory will disappear.
I think I see what you mean. Not quite sure. Yeah, you see. Oh, why is it gone again?
Because it's always relative to current price, the way the indicator is written.
Yeah, 200 pips. So if I've scrolled to should I go? I'm not sure how.
So the current candle needs to be visible.
Yeah, so the current price candle needs to be on the screen.
Oh, right. Hey, that's great. I didn't know that either. Okay, so there's quarter theory down there, and there's the next one up there. We had a 10-pip break and a retest. We're above the 62. So the 62 says buy. The pitchfork says buy. So what is our third confirmation then? So our third confirmation would be what to get in?
1 minute trend,
I did
maybe?
a trend line, yeah.
The 1 minute trend from down here. Like that? Did you do something like that? Or was it
Yeah, it was
tighter?
something like that.
Like that?
No, it was looser
Like
or
that?
lower. Yeah.
Just get rid of that magnet. So, yeah. So I suppose we could have, if I get that settings. I think it's quite subjective way you draw the 1 minute trend. So I probably would have drawn it like that. But you're right, you could have come out there. That's equally valid as long as you've got a minimum of 2 or 3 touches. So the entry ideally would have been just after the half, where's the half-hour candle? 25, no, you could have got in before. Sorry, just let Zoom catch up. It's, that's it. So on that candle, any of these candles here, that blue one there, because it does close above. Oh, I see. I've got to have current to get the quarter theory on. I have to make it a bit smaller.
Are you looking at the blue one that's 19 past 10 your time or 14 past 10?
I'm looking at this one. I think the general principle is make sure it's a candle going in the right direction. But any of these here, because you've got the break and the retest, you've got the 62 and you've got the 1 minute. So any of those off the pitchfork along here after it comes above, yeah? So once you're in, then we've got this. Oh, it's a bit slow to move. And that's, so let me get a slider bar. I mean, not a slider, a horizontal line. Well, actually, what we could do is replay it, couldn't we? I've never done the replay with you before. If I can do it right. Is it going to be slow for me? Not coming. Oh, there it is. It's that one. I've got the help if I put the right one on. Can I shut down any more of these? Okay. So price comes up here. That's play. That's forward. Play forward. I think you just press it again to pause, don't you? Right. So there's your break and the retest. there's the candles to get in on.
So any of those that are going up?
Preferably if they're going up. I got in one today. By the time I'd hopped over to my C trader, for me, not MT4, but by the time I hopped over, I missed about 2 or 3 pips, and I did have it all set up. I had the chart on there. I suppose Chance is doing it really quickly because he's got his phone here, and I do everything on the computer. So
yeah, I was doing it on the computer.
Yeah. So what you're looking for now to stay in this trade is for it to stay above the 62 and for it to stay above that 1 minute trend, because once it starts to break and retest, you've then got to make a decision on how many pips, because price flows, as you can see, up and down, not a straight line. You've got to make a decision once you're in how many pips you're going to give up. Once you get to 10 pips, you put your 1 pip stop profit in, or at break even on the white pitchfork for a risk-free trade, which means you can relax a bit. But obviously, this is your work, this is your job. Once you're at 10 pips, you want to get that 20 to get your 1 to 2 risk to reward, which is up at the quarter theory. So you're looking at that next level. But as price flows, you're thinking, how much do I want to give up before I decide I'm going to get out of the trade if it starts to fail on you. So slight little gap there, but that's fine because it's still above the 62 and it's on the pitchfork, so it's just a little bit, so that's absolutely fine. It's just a little bit of slippage there, and then it comes straight up there. So you got out at the 14 pips.
I think it was a bit before it touched the next quarter theory.
A bit before.
I just got too scared. I didn't know what would happen when it hit that.
So that's really good result. Well done. Perfect entry. Had your confirmations. Really good trade. Yeah. So there it comes back, and obviously you've got a break and a retest of the 1 minute trend, but it's still above the 62. But if you are staying in, then you've given up 16 pips to get back to that point. So you've only got about 5 pips profit. But look what it does. It touches the 62 and stays the right side of it perfectly. But you can't always tell it's going to do that, obviously. And then clearly, it can fail, and, it could be dropping back down and have finished its run and be coming back down. We just don't know, do we? But it's quite a strong upward momentum, and there's a big gap between the 62 EMA and the 15-minute one. So it is in a strong upward momentum. And it's now, this is quarter theory again, where that line is. So it stays above the 62 all this time. And there it is at the 20 pips. Tests it again. Stays above. Tests it again. It's still above, but we can now see that it's leveling off. And there we are, it drops right down. So at this point, we are up. We must be above quarter theory at this point. We're up 30 pips. So any time from 30 pips 1 to 3, which is a really good risk to reward, and it tests it again. If you haven't, maybe you thought it was going to carry on up, but you see it's forming the lower high and then testing again, and then you should have been out of the trade there if you weren't before, which would have been roundabout where you got out anyway. So actually, I think a really good result, because it moved quite fast, didn't it? And then suddenly it drops right back down to the pitchfork. And let's just bring it up to where we are at the moment, so we see what quarter theory will come back on in a minute. And there's the pitchfork, and down below the pitchfork, and now it's decided it tests the 15-minute. 2 rejections off the pitchfork, but but the orange is still above the 62. The 62 is still above the 15-minute, remember? But you would have been, you know, well out of it by now anyway, because it's, you know. And then it just decides it's, I wish that quarter theory would come back on. If I stop that, oh, maybe it doesn't work when you've got the replay on.
No, you turned it off.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that. So thanks, Brian. So absolutely out of the trade there, because not only did it break below the 62, and it's below the quarter theory, right back down to the pitchfork there, down to the 15-minute, and then it's just sort of playing along. So that was a really good trade, Deli. Sorry. I think you did really well. So as you said, not sure what to do at quarter theory. It did break through quarter theory, so you were all right to stay in it, and it touched the 62. So again, you were all right to stay in it, but you should have been starting to think about it, getting out of it, because it's trying to break down. Yeah, and it's coming down. So somewhere around here would have been the perfect point to have got out of it. Okay, so
Sarah?
hiya.
Jason, how do you determine your target when it's looking at that?
Because, yeah, good question. Because we put on the slider bar with our 10 pip stop loss, except for GBP pairs where we have a 15 pip stop loss, and we do a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So we set it at the 20.
Oh, okay.
Set it at the 20, and then just a bit slow because of Zoom.
So you didn't look at any other zones, anything like that. You just went 1 to 2.
Well, we do look at zones.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what we look at, because we're always trying to stretch this 1 to 2. So Zoe got in off that white level, which is the pitchfork, which, if you remember, is a very aggressive trend line because it's got Fibonacci in it. So they are highly, highly accurate. They're built on maths, you know, magic numbers that work. So that, and we're on the 1 minute, which is why we can get away with a 10 pip stop loss. That keeps us in the game, you know. So that's really good. And then there's the 20 pips, which in this case, you know, was a good ratio up to that quarter theory. So she was absolutely right to say, I got to quarter theory, I got out of the trade, I wasn't sure what to do next. And it was the right decision, because the next level up, if it had been a strong upward momentum, carried on touching and hadn't tailed off like it did here, where it peaked, with that sort of double top, then the next level we'd be looking at would have been the 55 pips up to the next pitchfork level. And if it cleared that, then we're looking at that. And this is what we're always trying to go for, what Chance calls a home run, because that's the 70 pips. And that's what I love about this strategy. It gives you a lot of confidence once you've practiced the skills with the 3 confirmations, that you can see very clearly where your take profit targets are.
So is there a higher probability that it would go from one quarter theory to the other period line?
Good question. Price will always move between levels, so it will want to go to the next level. Price will always move between levels. However, what's happened here is it's failed to take off from that level, so therefore it's dropping to the next level, which is down here.
Okay. Well, your chart needs to talk to my charts. Sorry, Brian, go ahead if you have a question.
Yeah, so if I put the hull on, let's just see what it's telling us on the 15-minute, because it could just it tested the 15-minute and it's testing it again. So obviously I don't know what charts are going to do, but the orange, and it's just turned to red there. So the orange, the 62 was curling down. The hull on the 15-minute is saying it's dropping. So that looks to me like it is going to come down to this quarter theory. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, on the entry confirmation checklist, they have a second line that says your exit confirmations, and it's pick 3. It's pitchfork and 3 others.
Yeah, we use that. we use the hull for our exits as well.
No, I have to spend more time on this and really do some demo trading and live trading on this.
So does that, yeah, well, you know, if you're a fan, you're a fan, and it's the 10 pip stop loss. I would, as soon as I discovered the 10 pip stop loss, you know, that was it for me, because it's, I can't work with bigger stop losses, and I can't trade with no stop loss. I find that, I can't do it. So it's each to their own, isn't it? And the other thing I do is I do look back to the left sometimes to see where the next level of resistance is, to see where price did stall out before. So it did reject there, for example, and sometimes you'll see 2 or 3 rejections. So that might make you think, Zoe, at quarter level, oh, it's rejected 2 or 3 times previously at that level. Maybe it is going to reject there. I think I might think about getting out of the trade, because the one thing Chance teaches us, Chance and Samantha, is whenever you get into a trade, think about where your exit might be, because it's like driving along the road, isn't it? Sort of think about where you're going to go. So that's NZDJPY. So we'll go on to EuroCAD now, because someone, I don't mention people's names unless they want to be mentioned, by the way, you know, because some people like it, some people don't. So someone sent me a chart just before this session to say they'd entered EuroCAD, and just not so long ago, actually, and they had got stopped out. What did they do wrong? Now, I entered it. I drew this up this morning and I posted it in our group, but I was looking for the break and retest there. So I got in here. I've left this marked up for you. So there's the break and the retest of the pink pitchfork under the 62, under the quarter theory. So I got in there, and then I've left my 2 lines on for you, because it did actually go down about 25 pips, but I ended up with 10 pips because I was trying to swing it down to this quarter theory, which would have given me about 40 pips, I think it was, 45 or so, 47, and it started to, so I didn't want to get out of it, obviously, but it started to come up, and then I thought, oh, it's stalling out, and then it came above the 62, and I had my stop profit by this point down at 10 pips. I had been moving it a bit up and down. So it stopped me out, and then, as you can see, it did, sorry about coughing, it did only finally make, it made, 35 pips. So I lost out on 25 pips because I didn't want to get out there. Well, I didn't really have a reason to get out there because it went back to the 62. So it stopped me out there, and then it only went down to there. Then it went all the way back up here to the 15. Anyway, so I ended up with 10 pips on that one. So this other chart that I was sent, this person said they got in here, they had their 3 confirmations. So they were under the pitchfork, under the quarter theory, and they had a 10 pip break and retest, but they got stopped out, and that's about 5 or 6 pips. Now, can anyone tell me what you think the mistake was that they made, if it was a mistake?
If they were going for the sell in that general area, the 62 EMA is angling up, indicating a buy?
Yes, absolutely, up until this point. And anything else that you think about this point here?
Well, if you drew a 1-minute trend in that region too, it's also in a buy range.
That's a good one. We can put a 1-minute trend on. Yeah, that's a good idea. I can't remember looking at their chart whether they did have a 1-minute trend on. So something like that. Yeah. And can you think of anything else? Why they got stopped out 5 pips above quarter theory? There's the 10 pips. I'm pretty sure it was there that they, round about there, they got in.
Was it 10 to the hour? 10 minutes to the hour?
Absolutely, maybe. Yes.
Things go wacky, according to Frank, a little bit.
Things go wacky. So the correct entry, because it was a nice trade, and it's done its.
I know I go wacky.
You know, yeah, it's done. Yeah, it's done 43 pips, and that's coming down towards quarter theory. So there's the perfect entry here, that green candle. So it's done the break in the retest. It's off the 62, under the pitchfork, under quarter theory. Very nice little drop down there, all the way down.
So if that had happened to you and you had got stopped out and then realized what had happened, would you then get back in again once it got below that, or would you just leave it?
No, I do get back in, but you have to be in the right mood and confident that you know you have to be confident. But if I'd done what Brown suggested and put that 1 minute trend line there as well, then and I could see this downward trend, then yes, I'm pretty sure I would have. I do often do that, but I have to be confident.
You would wait till the next hour
to go bang, you know, and back in, because that's what chance says. If you've got the confirmations, you've got to be prepared to keep pressing that button, and you know it does work out for you, because we're kind of protected by our 10 pip stop loss, and he does it in the back testing. He says the exact setup that failed previously didn't go. If you had the confidence to press the button on the same set of confirmations, it then ran down, you know, very nicely. So I'm just thinking, I don't quite know why this other person got stopped out, because that's only 6 pips above. So they should have been, it depends on how perfect their entry was, I think. Anyway.
Maybe the spread was higher.
The broker spread at the time too.
Oh yeah, could have been. Yeah. So bit unfortunate for them, but you know, there we are. So that was EuroCAD, and then I've done my one on EuroCAD, then the other one I was in, so I'll just close this down now. I was going to take off my stuff. Whoops. Just get rid of some of this. Okay. Was GJ. So GJ, I did 13 pips, and it was a bit similar to EuroCAD. I could have had more, but I didn't. Oh my God, look how that's dropped. I could weep. Never mind. Oh my word. So I was in, where did I get in? Where's my PC? Where's my sessions thing? Sessions thing gone. Strange. Seem to have lost it. Oh, it's back up now. Maybe it was just slow to load. So again, I was in London session. Is it because of quarters theory? There it is. Where's my pitchforks? Oh, so was this one slightly different? How many pips is that? Oh, okay, this was a quarter theory trade. So 100 pips between the green pitchforks. Sorry, my trend line's the same color. I'll change it to white for you. So that's my 1 minute trend line. 2 rejections off quarter theory. It's 100 pips between each pitchfork leg, so I can take a quarter theory trade. So I got in as it dropped below the 62, and this was the one where I didn't press my button quick enough. So I was about 2 or 3 pips lower than I wanted it to be. But I mean, not that that really mattered, but it's annoying because if you add up losing two or 3 pips or so over the course of a year, you know, it can add up to quite a lot, and you are putting your work in, you still put the same amount of time in. So I got in just as it dropped below. It went all the way down. So I could have had all those pips. And I thought, well, I won't. I'm going to stay in, you see. And look what it's done eventually. Oh, God.
I know the feeling.
Thank you, because I mean, I'm not finding this very happy experience, because that's 100 pips. So I stayed in deliberately. It came back up above quarter theory. I thought, okay, that's okay. And then it came above there. Why did I kept my stop profit down, just running behind the 62 by about 3 pips. And I've left it on for you so you can see what happened. So I think it must have been because I pulled my stop profit down to about 3 pips above the 62, and then it took me out. And of course I wouldn't get back in at that point. So in order to have been safe on this trade, just delete that alarm. I would have had to have really kept it at 1 pip. So that's the kind of, this is the kind, I might leave the markups on this chart. This is the one I might submit for Monday night, because I got stopped out because I was running it down behind the 62 by about 3 pips. And then it carried on dropping. And then of course it did a lovely, great big drop. And look, that's interesting, Zoe, because it rejects 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times off quarter theory. So, but it's still below, although there is a spike up, and that's not particularly on the hour. Oh, there was USD news. No, that shouldn't affect this. And then it does drop again. But that could have got 75 pips. Or maybe you would have stayed in for the 85 there. So that one, I think it's so hard, because if I'd have kept it at just 1 pip stop profit, and then it had gone all the way back up, and I'd sat in it all that time and not had the 56, and then I'd ended up with not even 13 pips, that would have been even worse. So it's how do you make this kind of judgment, and you know, it's how do you, you know.
I mean, it comes down to it. You can't. It's you know, one time your ride the 3 pip 62 MA works fantastic, another time it doesn't. I mean,
yeah. I suppose one other thing is the New York reversal at this point here, because New York reverse is generally what London has done. So it's had 100 and had nearly 150 pip move up. Then that's having a little rest towards the end of London. So you could argue to yourself that timing, I might ask him that in the chat on Monday, timing, that therefore, because of the time, to have given it more room to breathe, you know, for that reason, New York reversal. So this is the one I'm going to send to him on Monday, I think. So that's GJ. So
this isn't totally on topic, but how would you send that? Would you take a screenshot, or how do you send?
No, anything's on topic in this session. Just use this camera function up here. Just press that.
Here, I got an old link
and copy.
Oh, cool. And then you can send the link.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah. So does anyone want to look at anything else? I don't think I did anything on, well, I didn't. I only took those 2 trades today. So I lost out on a lot of pips today on a day I don't usually. Hey, I'll look at it like that, Bran. It's a day I don't usually trade, so it was an extra 26 pips. I'll look at it.
Hey.
23 pips.
Hey, Zell, if you want to look at the link in the chat I just sent there, that's like that's how most people send in a thing for chance. And then they also send in a screenshot of the pitchfork, of the harmonic pitchfork.
So how do you get that link? Do you wait?
Oh,
Is that what happens with the camera?
Yeah, that's the camera icon. It creates the link for you.
Oh, cool. Okay. And then how do you put the text on top like that?
Oh, there's a tool for that.
Over here, left-hand menu, it says T. Can you see the T?
Oh yeah. And then it's like a text box.
It's a text box, and then move it over where you want to write.
Okay.
And then that places it there. But if you grab it, you can move it anywhere.
Perfect.
Change the font size and stuff like that. So I didn't do anything on. I did have several I had marked up this morning that I was looking at. So but I don't think GU was one of them. Must have been because of it must have been between when I had things that I was looking at, but not things where it was like the quarter theory was too far away from the line and that kind of thing. So that wasn't really on my radar this morning. Next time I'll write them down because I can't remember what else I looked at. Euro NZD. Just get rid of that glitch. In London. So it did a very nice.
I had an alert on it earlier because I.
Which one? Sorry. Which one?
Euro NZD.
Yeah.
Around like 1 o'clock my time because everything was underneath it and I thought that it was gonna bounce up off the quarter theory because there's like a quarter theory and a pitchfork right like almost touching. But then it just came down, even though that was like the opposite of what all the.
Do you mean here today, where the yellow meets the blue, which is open of New York? Well, that isn't saying buy, is it? With those two rejections there. But why did you think they were looking like a buy, Zoe?
I think because
it's gone up there and it's over the blue.
Yeah, because it's over the blue, over the orange, and
over this orange.
Yeah.
And
I guess that's the main
and the quarter theory. Okay.
And the quarter theory, and because it had been going up before that.
Yes. Okay. So we can have a look at that. So if you look at this blue line, that is how the 1 minute, this orange line, would appear as if we were on the 15-minute chart. And when we're on the 1 minute chart, we are in the current momentum of the market. The absolute, this is dictating what will happen on the 15-minute and further out in the longer time frames. So we don't look at price on the blue one, we look at it on the orange one.
Okay.
Yeah, the orange one is our current trend. And if I put a horizontal ray where it touches the orange line, and put 1 minute on there, and if I come out to the 15-minute, you can see that it would be down there in line with the blue. So the 15-minute is like looking at your hand at arm's length. The 1 minute chart, we're right up here. It's like being on a boat in the center of the storm, and the 15-minute is the ripples further out to, away from the boat. So
you don't need to pay attention too much about whether the blue is above or below.
Yes,
price currently is.
Yes, you do, because it's one of our confirmations. So if I come further back in time, one of our confirmations is either where you've got a strong momentum up or down, strong momentum down, fabulous drop, fabulous. And EN is a lovely pair, it's fast. Where the orange crosses the blue is a confirmation for the sell. And
not the other way around.
Not the other way around. It's the orange is the current trend. If the orange, let's see if we've got an example back here. Just a bit slow on the old Zoom. If the if I see if I can fade out that so you can see it more clearly. There, the orange crosses the blue.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the buy. Orange is the current 1 minute. Blue is the 15-minute. How the 1 minute line would appear on the 15-minute chart.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it's telling us. It's effective on the 1 minute chart. So over on the 15-minute, the pink line, which if you remember on our 1 minute time frame was exactly in line with the orange, is actually lined up with the blue, which is the 15-minute one. So on the 1 minute, it's lined up with the orange, our current trend. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is always your current momentum with the blue following behind. It's the orange one that's the driver. And that's a bit much to get one's head around at first. But the 1 minute trend is the current momentum of the market.
So what would have been the indication for you that that was going to come down again, not go up through quarter theory and the pitchfork?
Yes, good question. Yes, I can see exactly what you saw there. I can really see that.
Because it kind of looked like a break and a retest to me, and then I waited to see, and I didn't get in it, but I was just really surprised that it came down like that.
Yeah. So if we put our 1 minute trend on, and I'll change it back to my chart stars is in white, but I've got used to doing mine in green. I'll do mine in green because I've got a white pitchfork. So we're looking for, one of our confirmations is a break and a retest of the 1 minute trend. So we've got that break and the retest of the 1 minute trend. We have a, take the magnet off, that might be better. We have a 10 pip break and retest of the pitchfork, check number 2, and we're under quarter theory, check 3. You have every confirmation for a sell there. The only thing that you might not like is the fact it is above the 62, but you have 3 confirmations for the sell.
So the 62 doesn't matter if you already have 3.
Well, you've got your 3 confirmations, so to be safe,
So
sometimes this is a very fast pair, EN, so you would have a 15 pip stop loss on it. To be safe, I do like to be under the 62. I do agree with you. So therefore, the problem would have been you would have had to have had a far bigger stop loss. Oh, maybe it's not quite that big. You would have had to have had 20 pips, and I never go for 20 pips. I just don't work with 20 pips. So so that would have been the safer entry if you didn't mind a bigger stop loss. And then it went 45 pips there. So while you're under and you saw it stall out along quarter theory, you might have decided to have got out there, although you've still got a big gap. The 62 is still acting as a ceiling. It's still shoveling price down. And then sure enough, as soon as it comes back up there, should have been out the trade there. And now, what does one notice about all this? It's stuck in a price trap. I always think of it like a mousetrap piece of cheese when it gets stuck like that. So it's stuck for, it's stuck really in a trap for an hour.
It's
and 10
consolidating.
minutes. Yeah, exactly, Jason. And it's just ranging along there, consolidating, as Jason says, for over an hour. And then
Story of my life.
yeah, we've all been stuck in those sideways trades when no one wants to be. And then it just shoots up. It doesn't do a break and a retest there. It's done one there, but I can't remember which pair it was this morning. It was NU. So does that answer your question about why that isn't a buy?
Yeah, I think so.
And exactly what you've said, I've done that myself many times. So don't feel bad, because I thought, oh no, I've lost again. And it's gone, woo, you know, and I just thought, well, I don't understand that, because I thought it was in a strong upward momentum. But that is just slipping through at the open of New York. So I'll have a look at NU for you, because this one, I was really looking at this for I think it was NU, for a buy this morning. And I didn't get in because I couldn't see a clear, now I didn't get into this, and it did do like, it ended up doing 25 pips. And the reason I was a bit fed up of that, because I got the D point down there, got quarter theory and the pitchfork. That was my alert I had on. And I did chicken out of this one. Whoops, just get rid of that to tidy it up. And the reason I didn't get in, so again, let's use our replay button. Why didn't I get in? It was I've lost my quarter theory now. I think Chance puts it on like that when he's 550. Is that it? 550. That's it. Is that quarter theory? 550.
Not quite. You have to change the coordinate to 50.
50. Thank you. 550. It says it on there. Strange. Is that right?
That's 64. No, it would be 64500.
Oh, that's right. 645. Thanks. I thought it looked a bit odd. Thanks, Brian.
Right there.
Thank you. You see, even I can do Forex, and I'm no good at maths at all. Right, so there's our quarter theory. So, price, the orange has crossed the blue, got our 1 minute trend. It just dipping below quarter theory as London opens. It tests the 62 and the 1 minute trend. So I've been watching this all along. Let me just go back a little bit, because I just couldn't see the proper break and the retests. So, and then it just carried on up. So I suppose it's just one of those things where, you know, these things happen. So I'm looking, it drops below, it tests the 62, and it's rejected quarter theory, it's coming up. So I'm waiting for it to do a little break and a retest for me. And then it just does that on me. So I've missed the entry anyway. So, you know, I don't know, is that just one of those things, I suppose, isn't it?
Mm.
So I didn't have the entry on that one. So I was a bit annoyed about this one, because then it just carries on very nicely up, stays well above the 62 and the 1 minute trend. comes up to test the 62. Well, now it's coming down, but it did do 25 pips. So even if you hadn't got out there, you would have been getting out at 13 pips once you saw it dropping. Once it broke that 1 minute trend, would have been your signal to have got out, because it's breaking the trend and that 62 is flattening off, and it's broken the 1 minute trend. And let's just play this one out. So it just hugs along the 62 for the rest of London, doesn't do much, and then drops right back down to the pitchfork, tests the 15 minute. We've got US news coming up, which has obviously driven it down. So we wouldn't have been trading it anyway, coming up to this point, because of the news. I don't know what the news did to it. So it another break and a retest of the pitchfork, touches the 62, but this is half an hour before the news, so we wouldn't have been looking at this. Quarter theory, bang, that's the effect of the news then, at 4:30, right down. And there it is. There's your answer, Jason, about going down the levels down to the next pitchfork. And there we are, current time. So I missed out on that one, and I stand by my decision. I wouldn't have got in it, and then it took off anyway. So maybe chance would say that's just one of those things. Because sometimes in the past I've got in when I haven't had the break and retest, and then my bank account has suffered accordingly. So now I just try not to do it. I try to be really patient, as Chance says. Wait for price. There's a good example. You know, wait for price to come back. Wait for that, because if we've got in up there above the 62, say put a 1 minute trend line on, there's 2 break and retests. You know, that's similar to what Zoe was looking at before. So sometimes in the past I've got in on that way up, bitterly regretted it, and I've carried on doing it, I have to say, quite a lot before I really learnt my lesson. And then sure enough, it breaks under the 62, and a lovely drop for the sell. There's the orange crossing the blue. Can you see it shoveling price down, Zoe? There's your sell down to that pitchfork. So a very nice trade there for 50 pips. Where's quarter theory? But we wouldn't have been in because of the news. Oh, and quarter theory. So I would have waited to get below quarter theory before entering. Yeah, below the 62. But because the quarter theory is like a thick brick wall, so I certainly would not have entered that until I would have given up some pips to wait for it to break. I wouldn't have minded about the blue line, because I would have loved the fact the orange is crossing the blue, but I wouldn't have waited for it to actually cross. Once it's below that and below quarter theory, I would have been in there. Well, you could have waited for it to cross. So very nice drop there. And there we are, it's rejected off quarter theory. So has anyone got anything else they want to discuss about this week, or any charts or any confirmations or anything?
Well, one question I have, is it possible to copy the pitchfork harmonic scanner from one trading view chart into another trading view chart? Well, you manually have to attach everything. Because I remember a while ago I was watching Chance, and they put up the trading view snapshot, but I never figured it out. I don't know if you can.
Well,
I think can sort of, if you drop down your layouts there, Sarah, for your charts.
Drop down. Oh, the drop down one.
Yeah, there's an option called, you can turn sharing on, and you can share your charts. Now this only works on a paid version. So if you turn that on, you can now copy the link in the web browser.
Up here.
And you can give that to somebody else. And what they can do is they can come in and view it on theirs, trading view.
Oh, okay.
And they can click the make a copy button, and it'll create a new layout for them.
You're a mine of information. aren't you?
Yeah, then you can put that in your new chart layout, and that could just, I mean, I already have a chart layout named, you know, a pitchfork scanner.
Well, if you need any old scans, then let me know and I can send them across, because I didn't know you could do that. So if anyone wants any, I can always use that function. But then your trading view won't go back more than 2 weeks. You have to go back and work out, you know, where you think the points are on price. Okay.
Oh, so you still have to attach it in the current time period.
Well, if you want it on your live trading view, you'd have to, wouldn't you, Brian? You'd have to copy it, wouldn't you?
Or
Correct.
Yeah.
No, but your share function, when they get it and look at it, it's basically going to be the live chart, but it's only going to be read only. If they want to make changes to it going forward, they have to make their own copy of that.
oh, okay, that was my question, but it's good to know. It's good to know about that.
Yeah. I looked at one other I looked at this morning and it failed. I thought it was going to be a setup and it wasn't. So I'll just show you that. It's pretty obvious what happened. So I had about 5 or 6 possibilities and I went for the EuroCAD in the end as my first trade. And then I did GJ after that. So here's the markup. I think I posted it in the group. So I had the orange coming under the blue. I had the 1 minute trend line. The white line is the pitchfork and there's quarter theory. So I was waiting for that break and retest. And it didn't like it at all. It did 1, 2, 3 rejections off. It shot up there to test the 15 minute, came back down to quarter theory, rejected off again, and it went for the buy. So I think that's similar to Zoe's, where she was looking at NJ for a buy, but in this case I was looking at it for a sell. I thought it had everything for the sell to carry on down, and it didn't at all. It all those rejections, and then it decided to go above the 62 for the buy. But I mean, I hadn't got in it, but that's what I was looking for, and that one didn't work. So, you know, you just got to do your markups, pick about 6 of them. Some will work and some won't, and then decide which one you're going for. And for me, I like it when, you know, the best one for me is when quarter theory is near to the pitchforks. You've got, you know, much stronger possibility of being protected against your stop loss taking you out, or for it actually, you know, going the 50 pips to the next pitchfork or whatever. So is that a little trade? Was that a little trade there under the 62 off the pitchfork? But there's no quarter theory, so you would have had to have, well, I suppose you could put 1 minute trend break on. How many pips is that? Just about the 20. Little trade there. So I can't remember if I looked at anything else. I'm pretty sure I did, because I had about 6 of them. So that's about it. If there's anything else anyone wants to chat or look at, I'm quite happy to. Otherwise, we'll call it a day. I just wanted to come on at the end of the week, do some back testing, have a chat. It's nice to talk to other people about what they've done and what we're doing. And I confess my mistakes. So I've missed out on all those pips. But, you know.
Well, as Brian Knight likes to say, it's always better to be out of a trade wishing you were in than the reverse.
Well, yeah, that's true. And at least it gets your eye in and gets you more confident that, oh, yeah, I see. But I'm definitely going to put that one in on Monday night as my one for discussion. See what he says about, you know, whether it was just one of those things or whether it was a timing thing. Okay, so that's it for today then.
Much appreciated,
Thank you so
Sarah.
much. That's
All
super
right, thank you,
helpful.
Sarah. See you on Monday.
Yeah,
Thanks,
see you.
Sarah.
Have a great weekend, everyone. You're very welcome. I'm just going to stop recording.